YourBoySuper, and I'm playing Elite Dangerous. We're here in Seoul, as you just saw, by the beautiful shot of Earth. I guess the moon was behind it, and it looks really small because I couldn't see anything. Cruising around, look at all the point of interest we left off on Cradle of Humanity, talking about how Earth was almost destroyed, and since we left, it's healed and is now a tourist destination. The next tourist beacon is New Alita ship. It's going to be a terrible time searching this for crashes because all these beacons are the same type of signal as a crash ship. That's really unfortunate because I like crash ships. I like anything interesting that lures me to the surface. Dargoids, crash ships, settlements are... I have my ups and downs with settlements. In the beginning, I loved them. Then after doing them constantly, I got to a point where I didn't like them. And now that they're giving us like $1.5 million missions and we don't even have to land, I'm starting to like them again. However, the 23rd century saw the new leadership and initiative, the Earth Environmental Recovery Program to restore the polluted and radioactive regions of the planet was much more successful. I don't know if that was continued from our last weekend. It didn't sound like a complete statement there. Capital ships are lame. They say mercenary, but there's nobody there. I mean, mercenary. I still don't know. There's people there though. There's like system security force or something there, but you can do nothing on the ship. You can shoot the people that are there. That's it. Ancient history, where we're headed. It seems like such a cool idea. There's so much else to do, and everything else being so complex. When you go there thinking it's something cool, and then it's not, it's kind of lame. Especially with all the role playing and powers and factions. Water ice thermal rolls on Europa. Last video we landed on Mercury and investigated 2 crash sites. Other than that, we flew by Venus reading beacons, and we flew by to Earth reading a beacon, and we took a look at it. We might go take another look at it later and look at the moon after we get all the beacons and whatnot. The moon has its own space station. So you would think the moon would be heavily colonized and terraformed, but we skipped right over that and went straight to interstellar colonization, which is weird. I didn't look like Mars was terraformed either, because there's better planets. We just can't get there. Ancient history with all the land history of Earth, huh? Mankind's first ventures into space were tentative and gradual. The early part of the 21st century saw the first manned space flights beyond the moon, but it took major population and economic problems to stimulate enough commercial commitment to start settlements beyond Earth. The Third World War saw this exploration expenditure dragged back again, and it wasn't until the very end of the 21st century that colonies on Mars and the Moon became truly permanent and viable. After the war, the dominant power was the United States of the Americas, and as the remaining other countries joined it over the next few decades, it was renamed the Federation of the United States, and later the Federation. As the implied reference to one of the pre-war powers was a block to the remaining countries joining it, it had a constitution and laws derived from earlier powers, but much simplified. Yeah, right. You cannot make it simplified when you're going to space and adding every other country. That's making it infinitely more complex. Mother Gaia Earth. Mother Gaia is actually a faction in this system, I'm thinking. But Gaia is the name for Earth, I think. Yeah, mother guy has to be a controlling faction. Not looking at interplanetary road trip. Not going to look at the Pilots Memorial memo, memorandum. Close to this one. In the early third millennium, a high-profile business magnate made headlines by launching a car into space. Although the launch was seen as a whimsical gesture, the vehicle itself soon acquired the status of a valuable cultural artifact. They're talking about Elon Musk. Several hundred years later, a consortium of cultural institutions lobbied to reclaim the car and place it in a museum. After an extensive period of bureaucratic wrangling, a mission was launched to recover the vehicle. Unfortunately, when the mission reached its destination, the car was nowhere to be seen. Its precise fate has never been determined, but the prevailing theory is that it was stolen by pirates. Wow, did they predict that Elon Musk would do that, or did he play the game? Well, that's weird. Got new leadership next to it. It's one of the least confusing systems to tour. That's why I don't do it that much. Because I always forget which ones I've been to. And whenever you find one, there's usually a lot. And we're never going to be able to scan the planets for signals because they're all tourist people. And they're all indiscriminate. They just say other. Crash ships also say other. Tyler Biggs election, well, that's interesting. What? It said scan complete. We didn't get a message. Why didn't we get a message? Fucking live service games. They want you to buy shit for a broken game. What the fuck? That's insane. Okay, read that. Travel mega ship, yeah. Hey, Halsey White shares her vision. That's one of the female leaders. Oh Christ. Wow, there's still tons. All tourist beacons too. Jesus. That's why I've been putting this shit off for so long. When I do, it always leaves me wanting more, but it's such a hassle. I want more lore, more story, more immersion, but that's why I kept getting distracted by Thargoids and Guardians. And I need to get like another 100 million. I think I'm gonna sell the old fertile ants. Piece that out, and then we'll get the Alliance Crusader. Continue on with their quest to experience every ship. Mamba's better anyway. That's the next one after Fertilance. Then the Python. Python's like an endgame ship. Everybody uses the Python. It's half the price. It's a third of the price of the Anaconda. That and the Anaconda, everybody likes. Like the best ships that you get without being in the faction. I like the crates; those are nice. But the other ones gotta be better. They're like double the price. I'm gonna have the best Empire ship, the best Federation ship, the best. Well, the best Alliance ship is only the Alliance Challenger. It's like 10 ships away from the best ship in the game. I don't know. I was thinking about doing it just to earn the Alliance reputation to 100%, which would be really, really fast. We maxed that out like early on in the game, and it's never went back down. It's only 1 meter to it. I don't foresee a reason to be in the Alliance territory. Once we max out our reputation with them, that's it. Mars, huh? This is Mars. Must have terraformed. Oh, that's the blue. I was wondering why it was blue. That's because we surface mapped it. When we got the permit, they gave us all the mappings. The beacon over here said something about Mars. Mars high. That's why I think it was Mars. It is terraforming. You can see the clouds on the blue. There is some blue. And there's green on it too. That's really hard to see. Oh, now you can see it. Perfect. There she is. The red dirt mounds. Hazily inner vision, huh? Pardon me. Another non-sequester. Non-benefactor. There we go. On September 20th, 3302, former federal president Jasmina Hazley broke her silence to share news of a compelling vision with the galactic community. Yeah, we've heard about this before. This lady that went missing in a generation ship or something. In a public address at Gotham Park in the Alliance system, Alliance is the Alliance headquarters or an important system to them. Once we gain reputation with them, they give us a permit to that system. I saw a place of extraordinary beauty, a paradise. It was truly wonderful. This was no dream. It was a glimpse of something very real. We must find this place. It could be our future. And she was never heard from again. Why didn't they talk more about that?
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
All right. Second terraforming attempt. That's definitely a Mars one. Guess the first one didn't go so well. Mars makes a pretty terraformed world, though. Red Mountain's Majesty. We got this. Am I in reverse? Yeah, I'm in reverse. We can't have that. In 2291, the second attempt to terraform Mars was eventually successful. The techniques employed were crude by later standards, and the project had taken nearly 100 years. But finally, humans could walk on the surface and breathe without the need for oxygen suits or respirators. Nice.
Frameshift drive charging.
Next is non-human relic. I thought we were going to have to land to look at that and it would be more interesting.
Frameshift drive
But
charging.
it's another beacon.
Ready to engage.
Maybe we can land and find it, but the beacon gives us guidance about it and history.
1, engage.
This is quite the trip. It's like a real space vacation, for real. Found a non-human relic on Mars. Sure wasn't Photoshop. Ha 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 ha. Ooh. Close one. Hurry up, hurry up. He's leaving. In 2280, the first non-human relic was found in space. The object was found buried on Mars. It was no bigger than a child's hand and is still surrounded in secrecy, even in 3300. No information has ever been circulated as to the properties of this item or its origin, other than it is non-human. Maybe it was a hand, and that's why they're keeping it quiet. Maybe it was a child's alien hand. Federal Constitution.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging.
Come on now, guy. Don't be difficult.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
I could see a government keeping it an alien body part. That alien body part found is a secret. I mean, it would leak eventually. Everything always does. The same as the one we have now, isn't it? Federal law is based on the agreed Constitution. People have rights and freedoms enshrined by this agreement. A great many things are illegal, like slavery, owning, and certain narcotics with cloning. Local state law prohibits other trafficking to a greater or lesser degree. Things like ship-based weapons, personal weapons, and other milder drugs and alcohol are banned in some systems. Federal law is controlled by the Mars government, and the sheer size of the Federation makes it very hard for a system to have any influence on changing it. Better off just doing it without them knowing. A lot like the government now. Fuck American government. Federal Congress. So now I'm starting to get agitated. Tyrell Biggs. We'll skip Tyrell Biggs. Skip Federal Congress. We'll go to relocation.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Elite Dangerous has books and many other games, but I'm a future-oriented person, I suppose. I'm definitely not going to be wanting a book. I like video games. Interplanetary road ship. I think we're done. Fuck the Gellin scandal. FCI. Fuck FCI. Europa Ice Guys. But that might be something. Another unregistered comms beacon. ACA Ice Fermiol. Check that out. That's it after. What are we headed to now? Relocation. We've already heard about that. The relocation for somewhere. The relocation of the Federation and human civilization from Earth to space. We've read plenty about that. Wish there was extra filters so I could get to geological points of interest or non-story points of interest, and I'd also filter out resource extraction sites. We might as well start visiting planets for sightseeing. These two were nothing to see. Earth, we saw. The moon. The moon says it has one other signal and one human. I think the space station is the human. The other is probably a beacon, but we did not see any beacons with referring to the moon. Could be in lore. The relocation of the moon colony. If that's what it is, we'll read it. Skipped the moon, went straight to Mars, and failed at Mars. But didn't. There was a big boom If like like if we went from 20 the 20s 2020 to the year 3000 and only went to Mars, then after the year 3000 we went to everywhere in the galaxy within 300 years. There's a big boom in there somewhere. There's a big acceleration of progress. Like even to go like galactic at 300 years, when it took us like 600 just to leave, just to colonize another planet. I don't get that. Whatever point of interest is at the top is whichever beacon is at the sun is comms beacon. That makes sense. Moon pirates tried to own the moon. It's ugly with the damn scan lines on it. I don't know how to turn it off other than dropping into low awake. What is that? What is that? A fleet carrier? I'm not going to it. It's by another. We'll be out by another planet. It's far away. So nothing interesting at the moon. Can't even look at it. It's on just comms beacon. Mars, the Earth, like we just came from that. He's off to the pretty ones out in the distance. Jupiter. What signals did you can't land there. Shouldn't have any signals but tourist beacons. There's no tourist beacons. That'd be cool to be mining in your own solar system, mining Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter. Oh, every last one of them has rings. Saturn, they've been discovered recently. I can't believe that's in the game. How is that in the game? That was within the past 2 years, even, I think. Maybe it's been highly theorized, but never proven. Like, we didn't know it till there was James Webb telescope, and this game was made in before the James Webb. What was the previous one? I can't remember. Whatever. I'm glad we have stopping points. Going all the way out to Pluto would be a long trip. Or at least well, probably we can't land on many more planets. They've got to be in the front of the system. On the moons of the gas giants. Look at all these planetesimals, planetoids. Pluto is one. Charon, I remember that. I don't remember Orcus. Ophiuchus and Ocephus or something like that were the dark asteroids, the dark planetesimals. And not everything's a planetesimal. Pluto used to be a planet, it's planetesimal asteroids, planetesimals. I thought of a good rule of thumb for deciding what's an asteroid and what's a planetesimal is that a planetesimal is big enough to be round. So moons would be planetesimals, so that naming convention wouldn't work because moons got to be moons. Asteroids have to be asteroids, planetesimals, or Jupiter. If there's any other Jupiters out there, they're planetesimals. Not Jupiters, Plutos. When you look up planetesimal in the dictionary, it's Pluto. We got many Plutos. That looks so ugly with the damn thing on. I've already looked this up. We might have came here, we might have got the permit and come here because I remember looking it up and nobody knows other than to drop into low wake. But that's kind of sucky to do. If it's mapped, there's no hot spots in the rings. We got no mining in our own solar system. How many damn rings do we have? You can look that up and people have a real answer for that. There's more than one. I remember watching it on videos about it. Miss. Oh, we can look in the map. We missed all of them. Damn. It's a rocky ring, a halo ring, just one. But the moons are probably more interesting. Two human sources. Well, I'm not interested in human sources. This has an other. I bet you these are all tourist beacons, though. These are landfall moons of Jupiter. 10 geological signals of one other and 5 human. Well, I guess it makes sense that the tourist beacons aren't human signals because they're not human. There's no humans there. You can't land and have a human house. There's no human habitats. It's just an information beacon. Why not just say tourist signal? Electronic signal. Why you gotta be so confusing? Europa. Oh, this looks pretty. What's that up there? Unregistered comms beacon. I don't remember seeing 3. That's not probably not worth dropping out of low wake. We can land on this though. We should look at the signals. That yellow moon would have been a sight, but I don't really want to drop out of low wake. You got Elite Enterprise settlements. You can do missions on Europa. Europa Ice Geyser, Fungi's Claim, Hammerland Survey. I wish I knew if they were like, well, if they were tourist destinations, it would probably be obvious. That one on the back, the survey sounds interesting. Surveys are not usually military installations, they're like geological things. But I'm sure that's a mission spot. It'd be awesome to get a codex entry on our own home's planet. Parking beautiful. Oh, it's even reflective. I don't think we have any geezers discovered in the codex. One geezer is rumored. Oh, ice geysers right there. Why isn't this in this tab? Oh no! We made it. Ice geysers, also known as cryo geysers, will generally have little liquid components, but instead be composed of volatiles with dust and gas. What you mean, ice? Yes, volatiles too.
Landing gear deployed.
9. Hope we can get out. Oh, we're in daylight too. Well, we've got light, but I wouldn't call this day.
No gravity warning.
Right out. Nothing to harvest around here. Here's something over here. I don't know what it is though. Oh, that's a hilly ass place. There's 6% of our hull. Hey look, I'm on Europa. There's 3 things over here. They're gone now. I bet you see little lumps on the ground. It's gotta be what it is. I can't scan that one. I guess not. We're still getting signals on the radar. Not anymore. What is giving me these signals? They just keep disappearing. It's my shift. That's weird. We got phantom signals to back too. Look. Oh, look at there's a bunch of little ones now. What are these? Maybe it's like a bug glitch or something, or a loading problem. I was gonna say, why is there an ice geyser beacon but no ice geysers? What is the deal? Oh, these are getting dark. Oh, that's back to me shit, huh? It's just regular outcroppings now. The long skinny ones that were really faint, those had me puzzled. I don't see any ice geysers. Oh, there's something big over there. This is like man-made or something. Oh, and a long one back. A phantom long one was up there for a second. That's just there's two phantom long ones. That's just a rock though. She's gonna take off. Yeah, these gotta be outcroppings. The good outcroppings, they have a good chance to have rare material. Oh, and we got multiples. Nice. That must mean they're just really far away. The phantom signals.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Fucking gravity. We got 4 pieces out of it though. That's nice. I think we need to head back. There's lots of things to explore. There's many, many moons and many light seconds to travel. There's lots of other time and chance to harvest resources. Really don't want my ship to take off. Then we'll be wasting a lot of time. There's more outcroppings over to the right. Double up on the carbon. Iron, carbon, triple up carbon. I think the first one might even have been carbon. I wasn't paying attention. There's more outcroppings. There, this is a nice place to get some outcroppings. It's just a bit too far away from our landing spot. Look at all the phantom signals back. That's the ship. Every planet has plenty of these resources for us to gather. Every moon.
Chassis integrity compromised.
Solid ice. We don't spend much time on solid ice today. Ice guys on enchilada, I wonder. Fun time.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Well, that's what the other signal was, the ice geyser tourist beacon. So we have Europe ice geyser on the geological signals on the comms, resource extraction site. Yeah, this yellow planet here. Io, okay, we should have went and looked at Io, but we'd have to drop out a super cruise. It's the only one worth looking at. One human signal. It's the settlement. Two human signals. It's one settlement at least. Two settlements. All right. What was that one called? It was called Callisto off the Saturn. I thought Saturn was dark shades of brown, like a brown marble or something, a brown oil painting. One human signal. Enchiladas. Enchilada. Tethys. Korea. Dion. Titan. How come that's not terraformed or anything? The Ephesus has something. Probably a tourist beacon. Geological enceladus. It's got water geysers. Have we found water geysers? We found water ice geysers. Okay. So is that? I could have swore we found a water geyser. Water geyser on Rego EJX. I think we'll try and find. We'll land once. I'm not gonna do many more searching than that. This has already taken 2 hours to explore the solar system. I figured this would take longer than 2 hours. Yeah, I figured it would. I don't think there is any water geysers in our solar system because that would have been major news. Wasn't there like a whole project to find water in the solar system, and it's only been found in trace quantities? Because where there's water, there's life. Ice geysers I've heard of on the moons of Jupiter. If Jupiter's moons have ice on them, then anything farther out is not going to be water geysers. It's going to be ice because it only gets colder and colder. So we won't check for anything. And Saturn's going to look ugly and not its true colors anyway. Got blue on it. Got a blueprint on it. Only resource extraction, no hotspots, huh? It's like people like Saturn, those are moons. No hotspots. It is brown though. Got some resource extractions in the FIA beacon. I don't really care what FIA is. It has one icy ring. Enceladus 9 geological. So this has water geysers. Well, if I ever really need to find the water geezers, we could just come back. Other signal on Iapetus. It's got to be a tourist beacon or a comms beacon. That's what it probably is. Because there's one we keep getting closer to. 2200 light seconds away. If it's 2200 light seconds away, 42. But that's not from Saturn. That's from the sun. What the hell? We've already found crash ships, but they weren't other signals like they're supposed to be. And this, I'm getting deja vu. Like, I know I've complained about that before, because sometimes they're other, and this one they were human. Oh, look at this big ass thing. It's bigger than Pluto. What is that? Persephone? This is a secret place, secret settlement on this planet. That's why it's red. You gotta get a permit. I don't see any settlements. Even if you just land on it, that's cool. I want to get that permit. What is it? The moon of Triton, the moon of Neptune. My only guess would be to get max rank with one of the factions that inhabits the space station. And the turn didn't slow me down at all. This is everything looks really close together here in the system. Mother Gaia, that would be the one I would guess. Or Soul's Workers Party. I think I remember reading, and it's Soul's Workers Party. Federal Congress would I don't know about that. Aegis Cora, that'd be another one, I guess. But first, Mother Gaia, because of the controlling faction. Then I have like weird memories of Soul's Workers Party. Actually, Mother Gaia sounds like it might be a bad guess. Mother Earth. why would Mother Earth control the moon of Neptune out in the far, far from Earth? A lot of those make the names of the system look good enough to guess, like Aegis Corps, Federal Congression, simple. Like, for any permit locked anything, that's the only guess I could have. Like outside of the Federation, the Empire, and the Alliance, outside of that range is minor factions. FI responsibilities. That's that beacon that's out here. There's something orange we can't select for some reason. Decker's Yard. What is this? That settlement? I don't know where Decker's Yard is. Engineers. This it's an engineer, I bet. Is this? Where are we at? One other signal, and there's no settlements on the surface. Decker's Yard, and it's not a point of interest, it's not a signal source, it's not a settlement. This is what I was after here.
Orbital flight engaged.
Come on, no, disengage it. Heading to Decker's Yard.
Orbital flight engaged.
No, disengage it. I'm heading to Decker's Yard. I think I slowed down too much or too soon. That's what I heard they were hiding on. There was some other planet that had nothing to do with the powers or any factions. It was an engineer. You gotta get the permit to the planet because there's an engineer on it. So I was guessing it could be this one too. Decker's Yard. Yep, that's it. Why is that red and hidden? If this is an engineer that you got to get a permit to, then why is this whole moon permit locked? Like this I've read was an engineer, but this is blue, and there's no permit needed to land on the planet. So where are we going? And why is it not marked? It looks like a canyon. I'll look these two things up. I don't care. There's a whole galaxy left to explore. Damn, it's taking a long time. Briss Drecker is an engineer. Oh, look at that little space station on the...
Attention, clearance granted by invitation only. Trespassers will not be tolerated.
So then why is this other planet red and permit locked? Why is what's the deal with this moon? Why is the entire thing inaccessible? Colonel Bristrecker, an engineer, a Federal Navy officer. Once we get higher in the Navy, we'll get. That's why you would make Sol your home system if you were working doing the Federation. You know, and you get all these Federation missions out here. You get to live right by an engineer. It's right in. You know how to get a permit. Oh, feds allege destructive Russian hackers targeted U.S. refineries in real life. That was the top result. Triton, largest moon, Neptune, seventh largest in Seoul, the coldest body in Seoul. Voyager 2 recorded a surface temperature of negative 391 degrees. Its surface has few craters. It's a relatively young moon. It's active with geysers and volcanoes and earthquakes. First discovered by British. It doesn't say. That's the game's wiki, and it doesn't say anything. But there is other people saying how to get Triton permit. It's been permanent locked forever. If memory serves me, it has an atmosphere, so we can't land there anyways. It wasn't always locked. It used to be landable, but then at some point they locked it. It was probably only open as an oversight, but looked just like any other landable body. It's lore locked. They also say Polaris is locked and unattainable to permit. Only Odyssey. But then people say it's almost 7 months after Odyssey's release and it's still locked. That's weird. Maybe that's just weird. It's like that for the sake of being weird. Yeah, yeah, just to be mysterious. They would have changed it with Odyssey if it had real reason. Future Thargoid base, yeah, right. Yeah, they should have left Mars alone so we could ride on Mars. That would have been awesome. Atmospheric planets. Yeah, that would definitely be an Odyssey thing. But I don't. Why would this be the only moon thing with an atmosphere reserved for Odyssey? I don't know. Should we go land on it? Uranus is ugly. One icy ring. Ariel. No signal. Umbriel. No signal. Titania. No signals. Oberon, no signals. Neptune looks alright. It's got one human signal. This has no signals. It says you can get materials from it. I guess we'll go see. We're out here now, and I still want to look at the planetesimals. That might be the actual rule for planetesimals. If it's too small to be a planet, but big enough of an asteroid to be round, it's a planetesimal, because these all look round. One of the videos I was talking like that was my idea. That's probably the real definition. Triton, huh? It's mysterious. Like if you're friends with a developer, you get a permit to Triton. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Triton, there was another moon. Titan talked about colonizing. And Enceladus, I think there's life under the crust of ice. So there's all water underneath. And geothermal vents in the water will create life, or at least provide the life and environment to live in. I think it's a really cool idea of the aliens in this game. Everybody thinks like they'll be friendly, they'll be geniuses, they'll be small humanoid-like creatures. Nobody ever thinks they'll be just like giant rock monsters that spit fire and breathe acid. But Thargoids are actually very abstract. Well, that movie with Tom Cruise about aliens, where the aliens were like giant stick figures, that was interesting. But they were still humanoid and super intelligent. Like, what if aliens are rocks? Or like the Fantastic Four, the rock guy from Fantastic Four. Seems to come to mind a lot when I think of abstract aliens. Giant pods, mollusk pods, farting toxic gas. That's a cool idea of aliens. Neither a threat nor a friend, but dangerous nonetheless. We don't crash. If they give us a warning, no orbital flight. This world is currently off limits to visitors. What happens if I keep going down? I wonder if my ship's just gonna blow up. We might just run into an invisible barrier, because it's already gonna take us like 20 minutes just to get down there. Yeah, no, it's an hour. Oh, an hour is more than 20. It's gonna take us an hour to get down there. No thanks.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh well. Satya Ice terminal. Where's that? Where's that? Oh, that's out in the planetesimals. Actea ice terminal. I think we've got ice terminals. I think I'm about ready to leave. We're out of time anyway. Ice terminals. I got 3 ice terminals: methane ice, carbon dioxide ice, water ice. Well, it might be something different. I don't know much about ice terminals, but I'm ready to go. Did not look at the planetesimals. Might do that some other time when we're unlocking the engineer or something. We've never even heard of like a bunch more engineers, which is really weird. These are all landable. That's cool. They all got the same, about the same thing. Zirconium. We can get some diamonds. This has been your boy Super playing Elite Games.